Good morning, guys. Welcome to my Flosstube. My name is Emily, Crafty Emily. I've had a big bump in subscribers because I put up my mid-year whip parade. So welcome if you've come along to watch my next Flosstube, my normal Flosstube. I pop by about once a week. It's Saturday the 24th of July today. It's finally cool here, which is a good job because I'm going to be in a very, very hot marquee for most of today. And it's not going to be so hot now because it is overcast and there is a breeze. It has been baking hot, touching 28, 29 degrees all week. Inside the marquee where we've been setting up for this event, it's been 32, 33, and as a special treat on Thursday, it was 34 degrees Celsius. We were very, very, very hot. Anyway, welcome. I will talk about cross stitch. Today I've got 4 pieces of cross stitch. I've got 2 tiny bits of HAED haul, and I've got a few bits to show you, but that'll be at the end. Okay, so I've worked on 3 long dogs in the last week. I can actually tell you where I've got 2 on them because I'm on my tablet again. We'll see how the sound is, and if it's very quiet, guys, you're just going to have to turn your volumes up, I think. I don't think there's anything more I can do, but I do need the space that's on that tablet to process these videos. As you can see, I did get my whip parade up in the end, and all I could do there was 1, split it into 2 parts, and 2, when I saved it, I had to notch down a quality, which is why it looks slightly blurry around the edges and my sounds are still a little swimmy. It's because I had to save it at quite a low quality just so that my phone could cope, but it did, and I got there and it went up, and I was so pleased that I didn't have to refilm it. Right, the first piece I've worked on this week is Opening Gambit, a long dog sampler, and here is where I am. So I'm downstairs in the living room today, so you get a better look. The light's not bad at all. That's actually a fair representation of the colour of the fabric, which is a 32. It's a 32 count Opal Laguna. It's a Be Stitch Me fabric, and it's cobbler. And as you can see, it's quite mottled. It's absolutely lovely. And I am using DMC 3808 on this, and I have just put a new skein. It was a bobbinated skein, but it was the first 3808 I came to. I have got a packet with 5 or 6 of them in ready that I bought ages ago, but yeah, it's in my mess. So I've just put that on my thread drop for a new one here, and I've pretty much done. I've filled in this weird, I think you might be a donkey, weird little donkey here, and I've done the inside part here. I'm coming up to join up here. There is a counting mistake here, so I am now counting from this edge in, because along the top is correct, my counting mistake is just here. So if I figure I come down here and go that way, in the fudge is going to be in this piece of, I'm not too sure what it is actually, there. Anyway, I am now at 19.54%, so I'm very, very, very close to 20%. This piece has been the piece I've kept in the car this week. So whenever I've got a few minutes sitting in the car, pull this through and put a couple of stitches in. I also had it in the house and put a little chunk of it in there. So that's Long Dog Sampler, Opening Gambit, and let me just do the PDF. That looks, ooh, if I can get it to look without, that looks kind of like that. I'll tell you what, I'll insert it. So there's a better picture of Opening Gambit. It's one of the newer long dogs. It was the release prior to the last one. So the next long dog, I've been putting a few stitches in here and there, is my Pilgrim, and I'll just take it out of its Q-snap. And I've been working on this here and there, and I'm actually closing in on a page 8 finish. I really am now. I know I said I was going to try. Well, I'm getting quite close. So this morning, colour's looking good today. I have put in, oh, where are we? I've put in my words this week. So labours is in, and letion of my, it's the completion of my labours leaves me with a joyful heart, which I actually quite like, because that sums up cross stitch to me quite well. So that bit's on the page 7, which I've actually found, and I've got this little doggy in here, and we're coming along. I'm just going to, I'll show you what I've got left of this page. I've just got that bit down there, and I've got this part here, so that's quite solid stitching, but that's all I've got left of this page. So I'm trucking on. I'm still aiming for a page finish, because I'm pretty close to a page finish now, and we'll get there with my pilgrim. I'm not going to show you the whole thing today, because I always do that, and I showed you it all on Monday when you watched the my whip parade. Still only my first coffee of the morning. It's 8:10. I did have a little extra time snoozing this morning, because I know it's going to be a long day. I'm just glad it's not going to be too hot today. Okay, and the last long dog I worked on was my pointed fifth, and I will pull that up on Pattern Keeper, and I will insert a picture of what pointed fifth will look like when it's done. So that's what we're aiming for. I'm currently at 12.3%, so I put in 2.3% since I last showed it, because I was just under 10% last time I showed it. So there's a little bit of progress, and here is my little bit of progress. Oh, and it's showing nicely, and I'm going to hold this up and hope that YouTube takes it as my screen grab. So here we go. If you're stitching, look up now and have a look at this. Isn't it wonderful? I need to do a bit more gridding. I've got down to the bottom of where I gridded it, so I'm over a full length of my Q-snap, because I use an 11 by 11 Q-snap almost always. And I'm just about to start on the pillars down here. So I filled in all of this bit. I filled in this bit here. I've gone along here, and I've started on this hair. Partly because I was counting along to this pillar to come back up. These are just a few of the blends and things. Just I tuck them in where they're going to go. I just put them in with it. I don't really. They're not joined to anything. They're not parked. They're left. So I know that this colour is this middle colour. This is the blend to use in this channel, and I've got another little blend that'll just be those few stitches on the pillar when I get to it. So I kind of stash them for later. Sometimes I just wear them out along the top there, I have, but here there's a big gap. There's only a few stitches in that colour there, and then there'll only be a few stitches in this pillar here going up on this pillar. So there's no point me making new threads when I've got a little bit left, and I don't want to count over until I've stitched over. So I counted over and then thought, what if I've counted wrong? So I thought I'd fill in the hair and the little bits and pieces as I go, so that I know I'm right. And as you can see, the hair is in the darker colour, which is Etoile 823. So I'm sparkles on sparkles with this one. So everything inside is the 823. These are all 823, and he's 823, and there's a pelican there, or a big flying bird. He looks like the bird in Anzac to me, that's got a top hat on Anzac. He's the same kind of sidewaysy pelican thing, I think. So that's where I am. This is a very big piece of 32 count opalescent Laguna, which I dyed pink, and it's going to fit on here. So that's what 12% looks like at the moment. I have got Robin sitting in the chair. He's being very well behaved and very quiet. So if you hear any nasty man noises. That's Robin. But,
Excuse me.
except they're illegal and he's not allowed to make nasty man noises. Not when I'm at home anyway. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, it's pointed fifth. Not pointed, yes, pointed fifth. The Chinko something. Here's my colour palette for this piece, and my colour palette for this piece is those. So I've started at the top at 602. I've got it round the wrong way. 602 is that one. So it starts at 602. So I've used all of these, and I've just this colour here on the bottom, which is actually going into the tealy colours, is in that blend at that very bottom of that pillar. That's the colour I've gone into. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more colours, and then these colours here are the colours I've added so that Birdies goes in a loop, so I can go round and round in a colour loop on Birdies. Not quite rainbow, but it's nice for me. And then this one here isn't in the pointed fifth either. That's just a bit of burgundy just to make the colours on Birdies roll more ombre better, as it were. So that's my colours. That's where I am. And then I'm going to say last Saturday maybe. I think it was last Saturday. HAED had a sale. Just a one-day sale. It was like a birthday sale. So I processed my wish list, which only had 2 charts in it, but I got 2 charts for the price of one, and they are both absolutely wonderful. They were like planned purchases, and I started one of them when I got home. Yes, it was Saturday. Yeah, so I got the 2 charts, 2 full-size max colour charts. It came out at £14, so £7 each, which is just value you can't argue with really for the amount of time and pleasure I'll get from stitching them. So I'm going to insert pictures here rather than me fudging along because it's going to be easier. So the first one I bought was Randall Spangler's Snow Castle. Which, as I explained before, I'm going to stitch that on 18 count Ada, 2 strands because it's Zweigart Ada, and I'm going to stitch it as the companion piece to Snow Wizard, which has gone on the back burner because I've been stitching on another new HAED. But I'll stitch those together as a companion piece. The Snow Castle is much bigger, it's much wider, it's like a full, it's still tall and thin, but it's a big full HAED. And I'm pretty sure I got there was a max colour version I could buy. And then my other purchase and new start was Meditation, and I'm going to put a picture of that up here for you. And it's just wonderful. And I love the colours, and I decided to centre start it. Now this is the piece of Ada. As you can see, the size it's going to be square, but it is this is 20 count Ada, and it's a big size full start. And there is my start of Home is Where the Magic Is. I'm not even going to touch this bit because it's a square, this is a square, and this was a rectangle, so I've started in the centre of my fabric, so I won't even need to unpick this rather huge start of Home is Where the Magic Is, which I'm going to stitch later on, time forwards. So here is my start of Meditation. I'm bringing it up nice and close so you can see how the colours are working on it, and that's where I've got to. If you're stitching, look up to see my start. There we go. So I started right in the middle, and I'm gridding my Ada as I go. I just grid with a heat erasable. This one's a water soluble pen actually, because I will completely be washing this, when I finish it in 10 years time or so, or however long it takes me. I will be washing it, so, and plus all the lines will be coming out. So I have got, this is 1.33%. Considering it's going to be square and this size, there's 1% of it. 1.33 actually, and I really like this. I'm just enjoying, because each piece, it's very, the colour is very set in like the mandala pattern, so you can colour complete as you go. So this is how I kitted this HAED to start it, guys. I sent Maddie was going to Hobbycraft anyway after work. She did a shift on Saturday with me, and then she went to Hobbycraft, and I sent her the first 6 numbers. So the first 2 of them I finished with, and they can go in my DMC box, and I'm currently using, I think I'm just down to 606, and I'm currently using 606, 1 strand, and these guys I have colour completed. So it's an enormous HAED, it's a max colour, it's 330 and change thousand stitches. I've done 4,383, but with max colours it has 192 colours in it, and you can buy them one at a time. I didn't go and spend 100 and, well, if I'd have got them from Hobbycraft it would have been about £180, because they're 95p each in Hobbycraft. It's been about £185 to kit this, but I spent 6. I spent what, £5.70. Actually Maddie did, because I've still not given her the money for them, and I've started it. And then when I get to a colour I need to use, I'll have a look in my DMC box. If I've got it, I'll start that colour. If I haven't got it, I'll write it down. I'll go to Hobbycraft. I'll buy, I think probably 2 skeins is going to be a safe bet going forwards as the pattern gets bigger and bigger. Certainly for the yellows, the greens, and the turquoises, I'll probably need 2 or more skeins, even though I'm going over 1. And then when we get to the purples in the corners, but that's a long time in the future. So I started a HAED on a piece of fabric I already had with 6 DMCs. I probably had some of these in my stash anyway, but because I just looked at the very centre and I looked at the symbols that were, I could see the symbols were fairly thick and repeating, and it's really nice because when you go to stitch them, let me just find got to get it big enough to put the symbols in. Look, can you see how much the symbols are used, and they're in a very set area there. So this colour here, which is 3706, it's not really confetti, and there's not a lot of ninja stitches. Admittedly, some of the stitches as a max colour, there's 12 stitches of 151 and there's 2 stitches of 312. So if I'd have bought a full skein of 312, I only need to do 2 stitches. That's the max colour. When they do a standard colour, anything that's got like 2, 13, 6, 8, 1 stitch of 336, there is 1 stitch of 336 in this. So for a non-max colour, for an ordinary version, they take all of those and they just like merge that stitch into the colour next door kind of thing. So there's quite a few of these as a max colour where there's 6 stitches of 563. There's only 6 on the entire piece, and that's the max colour, and that's how you get that wonderful colour definition. But if you're going to be fully kitting a max colour version, do look at how many stitches you've got of each colour. And if you've got one in your stash, like say 793, I know I'm definitely using it in Snow Wizard, there's only 3 stitches, so you don't need to buy a full skein. If you've already got a stash, a working stash of DMC, you don't need to buy a skein of everything to kit, because some, especially a max colour, yeah, 796, there's 10,000 stitches. So I need a few skeins of that, I agree. But some of them, just always check if you're kitting a max colour, because sometimes you'll find a lot of the colours require 10, 20, 2 stitches, and you've got them in your stash or in another HAED. So here we go again, just to quick show you. And I have had to put, I've just drawn an arrow on the top of one of my gridding lines because it looks extremely similar whichever way you turn it. So as I stitch this, I'm going to stitch it as a mandala. So when I move up to the next colours, I will try and colour complete each colour as I go. So I'm going to have to keep track of which way is up. So you can see I've just drawn an arrow on the top of one of my grid lines, and then when I regrid it or I move the Q-snap, I'll just do the same. So this is going to get covered in little arrows, which I will totally stitch over. But this centre bit here is fully stitched up there. I think I've pretty much, the first few stitches, there's a stitch there and there's 2 stitches here, which is obviously going to be a more a brighter colour to define those centre petals. But there's my start of meditation, and I've thoroughly enjoyed getting going on that. So on Tuesday I have my second COVID vaccination, Tuesday afternoon, and pretty much Debbie from Creatively Yours had a new start as a treat to herself for being fully vaccinated. And Debbie, I'm going to totally steal your idea. I will be starting my little ornament on Tuesday afternoon as a treat to myself for being fully vaccinated. I've waited. I could have had it about a fortnight ago. I was contacted and said you can bring it forwards. I've waited. I've had the full 12 weeks between my two vaccinations, which with the AstraZeneca they say that's the best. That gives you the best protection overall. So your body has 12 weeks to process its immune response, and then it gets the second one. So that apparently gives you the best coverage. I've waited because, you know, I've been busy and I didn't really want to shuffle shifts around and stuff. So Tuesday, I'm going to give myself a new start. I'm going to start my little ornament. It's the lovely kittens and the Hubble Bubble or something. Anyway, I'll show you that, my next Flosstube, and there'll be a little tiny start. I'm going to start that centre top, I think, because it's a HAED ornament, so it's going to end up sort of dinner plate size. Doing that on 25 count easy grid, and I'll show you it next week. Okay, so we're very nearly there. I've got one thing that Maddie did that I want to show you. She did quite a big picture on a proper canvas. Oh, and the colour is good today. Now, I am going to look in to charting this, because I think with the background being as pretty as it is, and all the little detail, I think I'm going to have a little go and see if I can chart this, obviously as a full coverage, because I rather like that. I think that's one of her, I think she's getting a good deal better. Obviously, if you're new to me, this is all my eldest daughter's artwork. Some of it is quite old and doesn't have the same look. You know, her skills are evolving, but I have her artwork just about everywhere. Some of them are very big canvases. This one's quite a reasonable size, so if we made it a little bit bigger, you know, as we chart it, we can make it a little bit bigger. It wouldn't be outrageously huge, but I think I'm going to have a little go and see how we get on with that. We do have an extremely good stills camera, haven't you, mister? Got a very, very good, he's not even listening. You've got a very, very good camera. You can take a really good high resolution picture of this, which I can then import into a cross stitch maker program.
Yep. The thing is,
we'll try and do
you're right. If your tablet doesn't work, you can start using the big camera.
This is what I got my tablet for.
I know.
I'm talking about something completely different. Stop off feasting. respect to whatever it is you're doing. I hope you're not on Facebook Marketplace.
No.
Keep trying to buy things. Right, and okay, so that's basically all the stitchy content. I only had 2 HAEDs haul, so there's not going to be a great deal of haul from me going forwards. I have got enough. I know I say that and then I buy a load of stuff, but I've literally got. I'm working on the projects I'm working on, and I'm happy with them. So unless I need a random DMC, I don't think there's going to be a huge ton of haul going forwards. My work situation is almost sorted. Hopefully next Flosstube I'll be able to tell you what I'll be doing going forward, but the situation I'm in at the moment I'm resolving, because it's not that it's too much for me on lots of different reasons. It's time for me to make a decision. So we're doing that this week, and I'll let you know in my Flosstubes when I have news. But there we go. And now spool news. We will be having on our Instagram page, which is Crafty6, I'll put it up along here in nice big letters, on our Instagram page. At some point next week we're going to aim for, I'm going to say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is when I've got a bit of time. We're going to aim to have like a sale on our Instagram page of spools. Now what I'm going to do is, obviously I will picture the spool, I will let you know its size, what size cross stitch piece it can take, obviously what we'd like for it, and it'll be a case of, when I've put the picture up, a me please underneath, and then we'll message and sort it out. We'll do it all through PayPal, and basically what we'll do is, when I know where you're from, I can send you an invoice, a PayPal invoice, and it'll have the correct shipping on it. Now none of these are terribly heavy. Robin has hollowed out as best he can to make them. They're basically half the weight that they were. So they are what they are, but they're nice spools. And we've got, oh, that one's going up to the shed. That was one of his first ones he hollowed out. This one, now he's got his proper tool. I don't know if you can see the difference the tool makes. Can you see how beautifully smooth that one is? This one's just a little bit rougher, so that one's going to Robin. He's going to take a bit more out of that one and smooth it out today. But these ones, I've got two with lids. So there's this one here, which has got the lid. Obviously the lidded ones will be a little bit more. I'm going to put that one in the Etsy shop. He's trying to show me the other one. I picked the most spooly of them. Those ones, the ones with the slightly special lids, I'm going to put in Etsy. We'll still be we're just about ready to list a load of bits and bobs on Etsy as well. But we thought we'd have a quick go at listing at Instagram, because then at least this is the heaviest because it's oak, but it's absolutely beautiful. You can see from it. Oh, it's still got our. We use, what is it? What is the essential oil you put in the wax? Was it jasmine?
Yes. We
put jasmine in the essential oil. Jasmine essential oil in like the beeswax finish that Robin uses, and it smells lovely. We've got a nice tall skinny one here. This one's very, very hollow and is nice and light. That's the one. Oh, I showed you this one last time with the hollowed out base. This one's new, isn't it? There's another tall one there, again, very hollowed out. This one is mahogany, and this is from a reclaimed piece of wood, and I think it's wonderful. Look, it's had another life. It's had a go at his tools. His tools got a bit of abuse because it turns out it had a few nails in it. But isn't it lovely? Look at the glow on that. That's a beautiful piece of very old mahogany there. And then there's this one here, which this one weighs almost nothing. So these we've got. I think I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 10. So we're going to have a go. Rather than list them on Etsy, we're going to have a quick sale on Instagram, and I'll give you a heads up. People who follow us anyway, you'll see it. What I'll do is I'll put a post up and say I'll be listing these at such and such a time, and then I will literally go through and list them one at a time. And it's I think you just put me please, and then I'll go on and say it's yours, please ping me, and then ping me, and we'll go from there. We're going to keep, obviously we'll keep the shipping as flat as we can because there's no fees, there's nothing like that. It should be nicer than doing it with Etsy, but we're going to see. And if you prefer to buy on Etsy, there's lots of lovely little odd shaped things that will be listed at some point next week as well. Right guys, thank you so much. It's 8:30 now, so I've probably been talking long enough. I'm going to quickly get this video put together and hopefully uploaded because I've not got a lot of time today. I've got to leave for work in 2 hours and it's going to be a long one, but hopefully not a hot one. The sky is clearing now, so hopefully it's going to be cooler but sunny. We've got a lot of people who are playing golf and then having a hog roast. A hog roast, so there we go, corporate day. Anyway, I'll probably let you know how that goes next week because that's generally what I talk about, isn't it? And I'll see you next week. Everybody have a good stitchy week. As you can see, I'm in a much better frame of mind this week than I was last week. Last week I was really just flat. I think I'd run myself down a bit. Feeling a lot better this week. I'm happy. Seem to have had a bit more time this week. The way my shifts have fallen, I seem to have had like more time at home. I've like finished early in the afternoon and then gone in late the next morning. So I've had like late afternoon and evening and then part of a morning like this morning. I'm up and about, but I don't start work until 11. I might be out until 9:30 tonight. I'm not sure how long this thing's going to go on and how long the cleanup's going to be afterwards. But obviously, it feels nice to have this bit of time. I don't feel so rushed. I'm not so rushed this week. I think
you know where you're going.
I know where I'm going now. Plus, having the kids off school is good because I'm not trying to.
For who?
Diddums. He's stuck at home with the kids. They're such hard children. They're so demanding all the time. No, they're so demanding. They're just totally not. They do their own thing. Austin's quite demanding with Daddy, but Austin's got a thing with his daddy. He's not demanding of me like that at all. They're like two peas in a pod, and they're very close. So Austin needs him all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. In Eric news, Eric has decided he is an inside-outside cat. He is using a window. I said last week started using a window as a cat flap. He now goes out the front door, goes round the side of the house, and comes in the window. So we just leave the window open for him now. A human couldn't scramble in through the window. And if they did, I think the dogs would wake up if a random stranger tried to clamber in that window. I think the dogs might make some noise. No telling with the dogs. They never bat an eyelid when I get home. When they hear Robin's car half a mile away, they go bananas. When I get home, I can unlock the front door, go through, go and see him, and they're like, "Oh, it's you, righto." Don't even get up. Anyway, so yeah, we're just plodding on. His paw's much better. It's got a scab. I think he's scuffed. I think he's jumped on something and landed because the little pad that's halfway up his wrist has got a little graze on both paws. Has got a little graze on, and then I showed you it was the one on his. Okay, I need to get the paint off my arm before I go to work. I think he'd landed and scuffed, but that's much better. He was only walking with a little funny leg for just that one day until it had sealed over, and then he was fine. Now he's back to being an annoying little cat. Clive is fine. He's a little doolally. We don't know whether he's got a bit of old cat dementia going on, but he's hanging in there. He's spending his days lying outside on a like that woven plastic, like a dumpy bag, you know, that you get like a big bag of gravel in from the building supply people. He basically sleeps on that all day. I assume it gets warm and comfy, and he makes himself comfy, and he gets up and he goes, "Oh, hello," when you get in, and he moseys up the path. So yeah, he's all right. and everybody's okay. The kids are all alright. Maddie's doing lots of shifts at my work, which is making her tired, but so lovely. That's grown up life. She's getting used to it. She'll certainly have her stamina up by the time she goes to university in September. She's probably desperate to get to university now and not have to deal with having to go to work for a while. But anyway, right guys, I will see you in about a week. I'll try and get back to being on Fridays, but I will see you soon. Bye bye guys, thank you for watching, and if you're new, hello and welcome. You're very welcome here.
And it's a goodbye from me.
And there's a goodbye from him. He's laughing to himself, he thinks he's so funny. Bye bye guys.